What's your assessment now that you've had a little bit of time away from it on how your chapter ended there?
Oh, I mean, that's the business we've chosen. Obviously they had to make a tough decision. I respect those guys greatly. I miss the hell out of them, all of the players and the staff and guys like that. But that's our business, and at the time we were 4-18, and they had to make a tough decision, and so I have no ill feelings towards the situation. I understand that this is our business, and I obviously learned a ton from it, and I was just really grateful to have that opportunity to be able to say I was the head coach of the New York Knicks.
And Knicks still obviously have a long, long way to go. They get smoked by the Lakers last night, but in that game, I'm sure you saw it, Anthony Davis, not like seeing a 7-footer be horizontal in the air and then coming down on his tailbone. It looked painful. So while it doesn't look like, Coach, that anything structurally is wrong, how much extra precaution do you take with him, even when he's feeling better, to make sure that things are okay?
Just in my history of the game, the tailbone thing just hurts like hell. But it's not something that's really severe. I don't think they're going to have to be overly cautious with it. Hopefully it's not as bad as it looked. But I just think that the sooner he can get back on the court, the better, because they really have an opportunity to put themselves in a great position to win a title. And I know he wants to get back out there as fast as possible.
Talking to David Fizdale with us, former Knicks head coach on the Shell Pennzoil Performance Line. And Coach, just sticking with the New York job again, it's such a unique animal. What are the challenges of being the coach, not only even in that particular city, but in that arena in Madison Square for a team like the Knicks?
I think especially when you're talking about a rebuild, with the Knicks, I think the toughest part about New York City and Madison Square Garden is the patience level. It's a team that struggled for a long time, and I think the fans really want to get that thing going as soon as possible. And it's unique from that standpoint because there's other places that you can take your time a little more and build it a little more slowly. But in Madison Square Garden, it's a tougher environment, and with the media market surrounding the team and all of the scrutiny that comes with it, it could put a lot of pressure on the people in the building. But I really think they're on the right track. They got a lot of young talent, a ton of cap space, and they got great people under the roof. And I just think that it's just a matter of time before it all comes together.
You mentioned the pressure, Coach, and R.J. Barrett obviously has a lot of pressure coming in there as he continues to develop. How do you find the fine line between developing him in that pressure cooker?
Well, I think if anybody's okay with the pressure, it's R.J. Barrett. This kid he's a different kind of kid. I really think he was built for New York City and Madison Square Garden. He is not easily rattled. His work ethic is second to none, and he's got a real toughness about him and a professionalism that fits the city.
David Fizdale joining us, former head coach of the Knicks and the Memphis Grizzlies, here on Golic and Wingo. Trade deadline, I believe, about a month away. We know management and GMs involved, but how about a coach? How about a head coach involved in the next month in players you're looking to either get to a team or maybe trade away to try and get the team you're going to have to make a run?
I think the team, that could really use a move to get them to a higher plane is Dallas. I really see that team. They're talented, and I think they're just one piece away from really being in the mix of contending. If you put one more guy around that kid, Luka and Kristaps, I think that team could really be a nightmare to play against, especially when you got a championship coach in Rick Carlisle.
Coach, another thing that we're getting ready for, hopefully in the coming month or months here, is the return of Zion Williamson, a guy who I'm sure you saw plenty of, like everyone else, leading up to the draft. We're hopeful that would maybe land in New York when you guys were there. As he's getting back on the court, first, what do you expect? And then second, as a coach, how do you manage him coming off an injury and coming off a delay to the start of his career like this?
Yeah, they're going to have to definitely manage his minutes and bring him along slowly. But the kid is a freak of nature. I mean, if you go back and watch the preseason, New Orleans was the best team in the preseason. They played fast and explosive, and they got a lot of young talent there. But I think Zion was the centerpiece to that whole deal. And I think if they get him back and playing with those guys on that team, they can be an exciting team to watch down the second half of the season.
We're talking to David Fizdale, former Knicks and Grizzlies head coach, on the Shell Penzo Performance Line. Golic and Wingo. Jason fits in for Trey. So one of the other things that we've had eyes on all year is the Lakers coach, and obviously we thought that would take some time to gel together. We're used to that. It's come together really quickly.
Yeah.
Why?
One, they got a heck of a coaching staff. I think Frank Vogel and Jason Kidd and Lionel Hollins and all of those guys, they got some serious coaching over there, and some guys that can really put some things together, and that's seen a lot of games. But then you talk about LeBron James, who I just think is just the highest IQ player I've ever been around, and this guy just really understands how to make people better. The fact that he was willing to, I wouldn't say take a back seat, but to really empower AD to be the guy that he is and make him feel like, you know, that he has a huge role in leading that team. I think it really pushed the team forward quickly. You know, when we first got those three guys in Miami, it took us a while to gel because they were all still trying to figure out who was going to be the guy. And I think through that experience, LeBron, you know, really knew how to make AD feel empowered. And man, they fun to watch.
Coach, I think the casual fan was kind of surprised as they watched the Carmelo Anthony kind of saga unfold. He's putting out public workouts. No teams are signing him. The national team didn't want him either. It almost felt like, man, just kind of retire. This isn't looking good, too.
Right.
Now what he's doing at Portland. So that's the casual fan. You as basketball people, how surprised are you at how well he's playing?
I'm not surprised at all. The guy is a walking bucket. He just knows how to put that ball in the hole.
Thanks for watching ESPN on YouTube. For more sports highlights and analysis, be sure to download the ESPN app. And for live streaming sports and premium content, subscribe to ESPN Plus.